Hey everyone. So it's been a while since I've actually been in the video. Um, so I'm here to show you how to make your little review book as you're studying and prepping for your next quiz, or actually your first quiz. Why is it like flashing all weird? I think it's my computer. How weird is this? As you're prepping for your upcoming quiz, which is your next live session. So um, you did this in class. This is just in case you messed up or you were absent or you want to rehear it or something. That's why I'm here. So for this, and I'm going to make the little book in case you missed that piece of the instruction. So I'm starting with a piece of paper. Yours doesn't have to be yellow. It can be lined paper. It can be whatever kind of paper you have. I happen to have yellow paper because it's my favorite color. And that's yellow also. No, it's the wrong way. That way. That's not why it's yellow though. So I'm going to fold this a few times to make my little book. So I'm going to fold it in half. This is called hamburger. So all I need is paper and scissors, and I don't even need scissors. Like I could potentially rip this, but I think I'm going to use scissors. Okay, there's one. I'm going to fold it in half again. There's two. I'm going to fold it one more time. Hamburger, hamburger, hamburger. Fold it in half. So here's my paper. Here's like where my last fold was, and I'm going to fold it in half. So it kind of looks like a little book, kind of like the one right there on my screen. Okay. So here's my little review book, right? But when I open it, I right now like don't have any pages. So I'm going to have to do some cutting. So I'm going to, so hopefully you're here with me. I'm here. I'm going to open this up. 1, 2, and I'm going to cut. So I want to make sure when I'm cutting, I'm going to be cutting from here to here. You know what? I'll draw that in. So I'm going to cut like a hole in the center. So I'm going to be cutting along that line, right? So I don't want, it's going to be in the middle. So here's what I'm going to do. And you guys can watch. So I'm going to hold it so that my fold is at the bottom. And this was the very first fold I made. And I don't want to cut all the way. I'm just going to cut right to here. See that? I'm going to stop there. Right there. Okay. So don't throw scissors. When I open it up, I have like this hole in the middle. See? How fun is that? And here's where it gets really tricky. I'm going to take these two parts and I'm going to like pinch it apart. I'm going to like pull it apart, but I want to make sure like I've got like this pinwheel almost. Okay. So I'm going to pinch it, and hopefully you did this in class. So this isn't, you've got some background knowledge of it. And then when I can fold it up all nice, those of you that are more artsy than myself mine's not very nice, but it's okay. What happened to mine? So when I fold it all up, I get my little review book, and when I open it, there's my cover. I've got a page, another page, and then the back. Right? So just to show that again, I cut it in that center, and then when I folded it, I almost like went into this part and pulled it apart. So I got this pinwheel, and then I folded it up all nice. Other than that, my one cut, that's all I'm doing. So right here on my cover, before I open up my book, I'm going to write what's on the screen. I'm going to write special angle relationships, decorate it, get fancy, use different colors, use markers, like have fun with it. This is an awesome tool and resource that you can keep as a point of reference. And you've got like all of your notes from this entire topic in one little book. How cute. And then make sure you write your name on it. So you're going to be submitting this to us, and it is an 8-point grade. And you're going to be submitting it to us actually in the form of a video. So you're going to be making a video after you've done all of this. This is a great way to review if you talk through your book, where you're actually going to be video showing us what's in your book, being like, on page 1 I did this and this was the solution I got. So that's how you're sharing it with us. So pretty fun. So make sure that that is something that you do prior to coming to class next. So now that we have our little book and we've written our title, we're going to go ahead and open it up, and I'm going to go through the pages, and you guys also have access to this book. I'm going to go ahead and actually fill in, if my computer will be so kind and let me. I'm going to fill in anywhere that we see pink together, and I'll talk through some of the stuff for yellow, but those are actually the parts that are graded. So those are the parts that are for you. So here, the first page, and we're almost going in order of what we did. We have, how do I move myself out of the way? Oh my gosh, I'm right in the center now. I'll go over here. Can I do this? Oh, that makes me go like, that's the other, that's pretty cool. Okay, cool. It looks like I just flipped. Is this my right hand now? Oh yeah. So vertical angles, a pair of opposite angles that are formed by intersecting lines. Vertical angles are always congruent. That might not work. I'm going to have to use this. There's such delay. I apologize, guys. Are always congruent. This thing doesn't work on my own personal computer. Oh my goodness. Why did that go away? Down here is an example where you're going to be finding x, right? So you're using vertical angles to solve for x. So your job on your little book on this page is to draw this picture, set up an equation, and solve for x. If you would like to take it a step further and actually find this angle and this angle, amazing. That is a great extension on this. When we move over to page 2, we're talking about supplementary and complementary. I put these together because I felt like they kind of went together. So supplementary are angles that add to 180 degrees. Remember, we don't even need to see them. There can just be 2 separate angles. Maybe you want to draw yourself an example on here. Maybe you're more of a visual learner. Go for it. Draw yourself an example. And then here is the example that we're looking for you to figure out. The supplement of 84 degrees is blank. So think about what supplementary means and how you would solve for that. And then complementary are angles that add to 90 degrees. That's sum to 90 degrees. That means add. And again, like, remember, we don't have to visually see an example of this. This doesn't have to mean that the angles are adjacent, right? So keep that in mind. This is supplementary. Sometimes we get confused with linear pair. Linear pair means that the angles are adjacent and supplementary. Supplementary just means that they add to 180, right? So these angles don't have to form a right angle. They just add to 90 degrees. So here's the angle or the example that we're looking for you to answer. The complement of 32 degrees is blank. And we're looking for accurate answers here. So I'll tell you even how points are going to be broken up. So a point over here. A point on this page. So half a point each. Right? You got to also include all of this. Like, you're writing in this information. Okay, let's keep going. So then over here, we get into the new special angle relationships, right? And so we had corresponding angles. And what are corresponding angles? Well, corresponding angles, and this is really big, right? If the lines are parallel. If they're not parallel, you still have corresponding angles. There's still an angle relationship. We just can't conclude anything for it. They're just not special. If lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent. Right? And here is your example. So you are going to be finding x here, right? So here's another point. We're at 3. So notice you're given that the lines are parallel. If this was taken away and you didn't know that the lines are parallel, you're done. You can't do anything. That's what we call not enough information. Can't make any conclusions. So you're going to go ahead and find x. That's what the goal is. If you would like to, if you're feeling confident and you want more practice, a great thing to do would be like, hey, find this angle. Right? The next one that we're going to look at is alternate interior angles. Again, if the lines are parallel, if those lines are not parallel, we can't make these conclusions. Alternate interior angles are congruent. There is such a delay with this. I don't know why it's so irritating. Can you guys read that? Congruent. I'm asking like someone's going to answer me. And here, you're solving for x. Notice some of these are like pretty simple. Like we're not giving you much room to make a mistake per se, right? Like I'm saying, you only have two things and I'm telling you that alternate interior angles are congruent. But think about like, well, why are these alternate interior angles? I have this transversal, good vocab word. Maybe you want to include that somewhere on your little book. And this angle and this angle up here correspond. These two are on alternate opposite sides of the transversal, and they're like in the middle of the road. They're between the lines that, in this case, are parallel. They don't have to be parallel, but they would have nothing special about them if they weren't. And you're going to go ahead and solve for x. What do you guys think is next? Were you right? You probably can't see, I'm in the way. Alternate exterior angles. So if lines are parallel, I started every single one like that. If the lines are parallel, alternate exterior angles are congruent. So you're finding x here. Again, I'm marking them off as being parallel lines. Challenge yourself. If you're like, you know what, this isn't good for me, like I need some more challenge, draw it the other way or draw it some other way and see how you do with it, right? Like what if I did it like this and I told you these were my parallel lines? Alternate exterior angles. Oh, here's a pair of alternate exterior angles, right? You can add more to this. These are just the examples we want you to do. If you have more room, draw yourself other examples, write yourself other notes. We just wanted you to get like the summary or the basis of it here. So here's another point. I don't remember how many points I'm at. And then the last special angle relationship that we're talking about, so this is, I did the cover. I did vertical, supplementary, and complementary, corresponding and alternate interior, alternate exterior, and same side interior. Okay? So same side interior, if the lines are parallel, same side interior angles are supplementary. What does that mean? Maybe you need to write yourself a note about what supplementary means. They add to 180 degrees. Right? So here you've got lines that are parallel and you have a transversal. They're on the same side of the transversal and they're between lines that are parallel. So these two angles, I'm not going to take them and set them equal to each other. You can even think that like, hey, take this angle and slide it on up, translate it on up to where it corresponds. And oh, look, these two are a linear pair, right? Like you can make other connections as to like, well, why does this work the way it works? Only when the lines are parallel though. Sorry, now I wrote over that, so that's not going to be super useful to you. All right, so you're going to go ahead and solve for x there. So let's see, we had a point per page so far, I think. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I said this was 8. Ooh, there's something on the back. Okay, so let's take a look at the back. This one, this is an application, right? So this one I wanted to make it a little bit more. So now here you're finding X, Y, and Z. This is 2 points, which is where we're getting a total of 8. So there's your grading rubric in the video. Here, you're finding X, Y, and Z. You got to really think about all of the special angle relationships. So you want to draw, and you've got the entire back here to do this problem. Right? So I have two pairs of parallel lines. There's so much going on here. This is amazing, right? So maybe it's going to be a little hard to find, like you're going to get actual values. X is going to be a number, Y is going to be a number, and Z is going to be a number, right? So maybe you can think about what you're going to solve for first, then use corresponding angles, use vertical angles, use linear pairs, same side interior angles, any of that stuff. But remember, in order to jump from one to the other, you have to follow along a transversal. I'm not going to say, well, this is 106, so something over here is 106. I need to think about, okay, if this is 106, here's my spoiler alert, this is 106, right? Those are corresponding. And then I can jump along this transversal. I can slide here. That's a translation. I can slide up, translate left. Think about all of the things that we've learned all come together. How amazing. So your job, and I mean, you guys got this in class as well, is to make sure that this is finished up. If you have other things you want to add to it, other notes you want to incorporate into this, we strongly encourage that. And then when you have finished, you can make it as pretty as you want, add as much decoration and creativity. We love seeing that. You are going to be submitting this in the form of a video, just as a reminder. So you are going to be clicking, and it's on this assignment. How you got to this video is how you're submitting your video. You can either record it directly through my MCPS Classroom. There's a way to just record the video. Or you can record it separately, like on your phone or on your device, and upload it, and that's fine as well. And you can provide a link if you're doing it through some like external app. That's fine. And it literally, you like flip through it. Just be like, this is my cover. This is what I put on page 1, and this is the answer I got. I got it by doing blank. Here's page 2. I have supplementary angles, and here's my answers for the 2 problems that you put on there, and this is how I know that they're right. I also included this because I sometimes have trouble with blank, like that idea. So you're walking us through it, which is a great way to study too, is to like talk through problems. So hopefully this was helpful to summarize what you're doing and what the expectations are for this fun activity. And study, use all of the resources that are posted. There's so many, and we will see you soon. Thanks, everyone.